My name is Chris.
Chris, all right. You have a question?
I'm on like the other end of like I'll be doing the directing, I guess, and stuff. And what's some good tips to direct someone and kind of give them direction, I guess, to what you're looking for, or to portray what you're looking for well, I guess. I don't know if I'm making.
Keep the lines of communication open, because all the actor really wants to do is what you want them to do. So you have to be very clear as a director what you're looking for. You know, if you want something specific from your actor, learn the nuances of the language, learn references for, you know, sound examples or even situationally, things that you can, you know, get your actor to draw from. Yeah, I'd kind of start there. I'd start there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I would also say if you don't do any acting, if you haven't done any, do some and be directed by someone. See what works for you, because that's a really good way to find out what works for other people. All actors are different too, so one technique isn't going to work on everybody. We are fragile baby flowers, and we must be caressed and loved and brought to life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right? So it's individual, and so I would say keep it individual.
I'm sorry.
That would be mine.
That's good. And you're going to blow.
I didn't mean to snort.
He snorted.
I
You probably didn't
right
hear it.
over
He
your
didn't have his
conversation.
microphone up. But
You're talking about making yourself laugh. I made myself laugh, and I snorted. So, sorry.
We got
Voice
you.
actors' #1 fear is being replaced and not being told,
Okay.
right?
Okay, I need to inject a true story here real quick. I did a show. I had some great scenes with an actor, and that actor was replaced. So I did those great scenes again with another actor. The business doesn't always tell you that you are not the one that's going to be in the final product. And it was tough, man.
Yeah.
It was tough, you know, because I'd gotten to know both of the actors quite well. And so there was the empathy for the one who missed out, and then there was the adulation for the one who did a great job.
Sure.
You know? And that's tough, you know, that's tough.
Did you tell them? That's a tough call, right?
It is a tough call. I felt like it wasn't my place to.
Right.
Sure.
That's hard.
You know,
Yeah.
as a peer, as another actor, I wanted to share that with the person, but I had to stay in my lane.
yeah.
If it was a very close personal friend, I certainly would have been like, hey, bro, this is.
You don't want to put that in their psyche anyway, you know.
But I still felt a sense of responsibility to the other actor. You know, I wouldn't want to just get pushed to the side like that.
Yeah.
It was tough. Sorry.
It's hard.
No, no worries.
I just got real, and then it got
Yeah, it
real. It's true. It's so
what's your
true.
name?
My name is Cole.
Go.
Hello, Cole.
What's up?
Go ahead.
What would be your advice to somebody who lives in the middle of nowhere who is trying to get into voice work?
Yeah, that can be a
studio?
challenge because of the internet, even.
Yeah. I would do a home studio if you don't want to move. Otherwise, I would move.
That's
GTFO.
That is my primary. That is my main plan at the moment. Yeah.
Do you have a demo?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I actually have one with me, but it's upstairs with a Hungarian man.
Have you compared it to other demos?
Yes.
Okay. So for people who don't know, the demo is a little sample of different voices that you do, 30 seconds to a minute. If you are getting a demo done, wherever you live or wherever you want to live, find agents in that area. It's very easy. There's this thing called Google. It's fantastic. Go to their websites because their working actors will have their demos online. So you can directly hear what is working in your area and model that demo to be with what is actually getting people hired. So that for demos, because a lot of people will sell you a demo, but if they don't live in your area, or maybe they don't necessarily have the experience to back up they're doing your demo, you can at least have a resource to know what exactly it should sound like, what a professional demo really is. So I would do that if I were you.
Yeah, I have advice that was given to me by somebody else too, is don't produce your own demo. Because what you think sounds good for you is not necessarily true. It's better to have an outside perspective Because if it's a good producer, they have a really good ear for whatever genre you're trying to do the demo for, and they can work with you to get it out of you. Whereas if you do it yourself, you go, that sounds great, I'll slap some music on top of it, and it's not as think as you great it is.
And invest in that demo too, because it really can pay off. I mean, I put some money to my demo, and it got me some work. And also to your question as well, think about I know it does cost money, but the pay for play sites, because that's how I got my start. And everything I did was just in my bedroom closet, with my home equipment. And now I've done work for DreamWorks and Marvel and Nat Geo, and all kinds of different things. So
Yeah, my
And good luck.
first home studio was a walk-in closet.
yeah.
Yeah, I did a couple of audiobooks in there.
Oh, yeah.
It was sad and boring and no windows. Now I have a whisper room now, so it has a window. I can look out into the other room at least.
programs-
Nobody's sneaking up on me, because it feels really weird being in a room when you have no windows.
Yeah, it is. What I like now are the programs that you record on and you edit from are so good.
Oh yeah, Audacity it's free.
Crawling into a closet isn't necessary anymore. It's fantastic. I have Logic, and it's great.
Yeah.
I use that for the podcast that I do, and it's doing fine. So it's
Yeah,
really nice.
that's-
It's Magic. They have Magic now on
Yeah.
your computers.
Yeah, there's free software out there to record with. Like
Yep.
you just said, Audacity.
Audacity, yeah, that's what I
Audacity
use.
is really good. They actually made some improvements on it here not too long ago. But I've used that. I've used Audition, which you got to pay for. But
Yeah.
I got so fast on editing. That's another thing. Learn how to edit.
Oh yeah. Oh, most
It'll take a little
definitely.
practice if you haven't done it, but
There's this thing called YouTube. It's really amazing.
there's a lot more information.
Oh my
there.
God! I remember when I first started. I had to send out a headshot with a resume to all of the agents in the area through the mail. Like I had to put stamps on them. It was a totally different. And I had to look in the phone book to get their addresses. Yeah,
What
whole new
what
world.
is phone
So then when
book,
people
precious?
come up to me and ask me something that I'm like, you could Google that. I'm always like, you're not gonna make it. If you can't even Google, you're not gonna make it. I might be a little judgmental based on my experience, but
Yeah. And Cole, Sunday at 6 o'clock, I actually have a panel that talks about how I got started and everything, and all my stuff was done from home, so maybe it'll help you out wherever you are. I don't know where you went, but there you are. So if you're here Sunday, check out my panel, and I'll give you some advice. I talk about using Audacity as well and all that stuff. So cool. Thank you very much.
Twisted for
And
your.
good luck.
There's an app that's on your phone that's really good called Twisted Wave. It is super easy to edit on it. It's really, really good. Twisted Wave, fantastic and super cheap.
Cool. Awesome. What's your name?
Michaela,
Michaela. What's your question?
Hi, Michaela.
speaking of YouTube, do you think that through YouTube you could get a career? Like doing voice acting on YouTube, getting your voice out there and stuff, making a YouTube channel?
I would say yes, because YouTube is a place where you can put your work. So yeah.
It's from what I understand, and this is just because I've met a lot of YouTube people, and they hate YouTube now. They've changed it. They've demonetized it. It's not as user friendly.
Or lucrative.
What?
Or lucrative.
Yeah, or lucrative. I would encourage, if you're doing something like that, start utilizing Twitch, because it's very easy to share your whatever it is, to send whatever you've recorded on Twitch to YouTube, so you can access both. But you can probably monetize better on Twitch than you can, and do more fun, crazy stuff on Twitch. They don't. Like, you can cuss and things. It's amazing. So that might be a better way right now, because it's kind of up in the air where YouTube is going right now, whether they're going to be like the new cable. You know what I mean? So my mom watches it all the time, though, and it's like, Mom, where did you get this story about mermaids? YouTube. Probably not real, Susan. Thanks. Yeah. She's a nightmare. I love her.
Thank you.
Mermaids and chemtrails.
Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you.
Sorry.
How's it going? Good. What's your name?
Zach?
Hey, Zach.
I never remember.
So when you're doing voice acting and you're getting like a character that's been done before, either or is even being done right now in another medium or in another language, how important is it to keep in mind their performance compared to like what you're doing?
Ooh, that's a pretty good question. I, like I said previously, when I auditioned for Bowser, I had reference tracks that were done probably by, I'm gonna kill myself if I don't remember his name. I can't remember his name. The previous Bowser. But anywho, my audition was different. It was the same lines, but my whole spin on it was different. I didn't need to impersonate the previous person that, embodied Bowser. Mine sounded definitely more gurgly, more growly. His was more like just a gruff voice, because he was actually doing speaking, and mine was more like way down in here, just which I don't know where that comes from.
It was
but
amazing, though.
I can sing high tenor, like first tenor stuff. But
I just love that we all witnessed that and experienced it together.
I've been in shows. I played Billy Bigelow once.
Oh.
But yeah. So as far as the actual question goes, I don't know if I'm actually answering the question because I didn't need to impersonate it. But my circumstance was probably a little different. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I just took a shot, and it paid. So.
I play a character in an animated series that has an on-screen counterpart. I didn't try to do anything that he did. As an actor, we were both given material. It says Marvel, and it says Black Panther.
It's very low pressure.
He made his choices. I made my choices, and that's what you do as an actor. If you go and you do 12 Angry Men right now, you're not going to do things the way they did in its original incarnation. It just is what it is. But you will be playing the character, right? So unless you are directed to copy someone else's performance, man, own it. Do your own thing,
I was number 10. Juror number 10.
No way.
Oh, really?
I've done 12 Angry Men.
Oh, that's cool.
Great.
I knew that.
I would say same. I would also, to the directing thing, a lot of times that's up to the director who tells you whether or not how similar you're going to be. But even if you are imitating someone, you still have to make your choices as an actor. You still have to commit to the role and not commit to the impersonation. You don't want to be the shadow of someone else. You want to be a true individual character. And so it's taking that direction, but being fully committed to it. And then it doesn't matter if you have the on-screen or the animated, you're still believable and such a badass. So I think that's what's important.
Unless you're redoing Porky Pig or something, you don't want it to
Oh.
sound
No.
like, if it's
You'll
a
probably be
really,
directed into that.
if it's a truly iconic, character, you probably don't want to mess with it.
And if you're auditioning for it, they'll usually be pretty clear about that.
Yes. Yeah.
They'll be like, this is Porky Pig,
Right.
be Porky Pig.
Be the pig.
Yeah, some of my really early stuff, I'm digressing, but some of my really early stuff was doing one-liners for some cat in Canada that wanted to do, he was producing little answering machine things. So I was impersonating Scooby and Shaggy and stuff like that. And so I tried for those,
Word.
Cool. All right.
Thank you.
like $8 a piece.
Ooh.
What's your name?
I was on the way.
Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Hello. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about like the audition process, especially for a place like Funimation. Like, how do you find out about roles that are available? Do you need to have an agent? Things of that nature.
I would say in this day and age, you need an agent. Now, you don't have to have an agent, but if you would like your life to be easier, get an agent. That gets you in the door. The main thing I would say, and I feel like this is probably true for us, all of us, is that we were at the right place at the right time and we were ready. I think a lot of voice actors specifically like throw it away, like, well, I was just at the right place at the right time, and it just kind of fell into place. But there's this other part of it where we were actors, we were ready, we knew what we sounded like. You know, we weren't going to freak out behind the microphone. We were professional, and so had we not been ready, it would have been a great story at a party later. But because we were ready, it was this incredible opportunity that is why we're here now. So my biggest advice would be to be ready. Be professional. Go in like you have done this every day of your life for the past 20 years, like it's old hat. It's very difficult with voiceover when you're nervous because you can hear it. And it's hard when you go in and it's your first audition and you're nervous to keep it out of your voice, because if it's heard in your voice, they might write down this is not a professional voice actor, and that's it. It's a lot of pressure. I'm just being honest with you. Sure. It's a lot of things to make you unbelievably nervous. Don't be nervous.
And don't touch the mic.
Yeah, well, and that's all the professional, right? That's that professionalism. You know what that is. There are so many videos. That's why I say workshops too, especially workshops that put you behind the mic so that you can hear what you're saying, you can hear what mistakes you may be making or how you're succeeding. You can get the feedback that you need, and you're not going to hear yourself for the first time and be like, oh my God, I'm not going to get this because I sound awful. We all sound awful when we hear ourselves. So that's my advice, is just be ready.
Okay.
Do as much as you can to be ready. Yeah. And then even if you don't have an agent, but you're in and you're ready, you're going to blow people's minds.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's
Get
really
used
good
to
advice.
hearing yourself, because it's bizarre to listen to yourself, and if you're going to edit yourself, you need to be used to hearing yourself, because otherwise you'll think everything you just did sucks, and you'll redo it, and there was nothing wrong with it. You just hate the way your voice sounds.
Yeah, as long as you just have to get to a place where you accept that you hate what you're hearing, and then everything's fine.
I mean, you got to wear the headphones, because if you don't put the headphones on, you have no idea what you
won't hear
sound
yourself.
like
Right.
at all.
Right.
It's like a night and day.
Yeah.
And if you're auditioning from home, because not every audition requires you to be present in front of someone.
Thank God.
Yeah, seriously.
Jammies.
On a typical day, we'll say 9 a.m., I'll get an email that says, we're looking for the voice of Lipton iced tea, right? And it'll have the specs. So we want a man between 20 and 70. Sometimes it'll have race. Sometimes we're looking for a Caucasian man. We're looking for an African American. We're looking for an Asian. Sometimes they do specify. And then there will be the script copy, and there will be a deadline. So if I get it at 9, sometimes it'll be due, we'll say, by 2 o'clock that day. So that's kind of the turnover for auditions with respect to voiceover. And they come with greater regularity, I would have to say, than on-camera actors, because you can crank them out a bit easier.
If you have the choice between going in and auditioning and not, go in. Meeting people face to face makes you memorable. Yep. So even if you can't go in the next time, they'll remember that you came in. And being able to be directed by the people who will be casting is huge, because you may have a completely wrong idea about what they want, because marketing people are notoriously terrible about communicating. So to have somebody there that can tell you what you really want is so helpful. So I would say do that too, especially, for anything voice, whether it's character or commercial driven. Yeah. Do it.
Good evening again. So I have 2 questions. So the first would be, what's been the worst voice acting experience the 3 or 4 of you have had? And then to counter that, what's been the best voice acting performance that nepotism aside? Also, James Mathis, if you're in 12 Angry Men, congratulations on that. That's a freaking amazing show.
It was just a reference. It was just a reference. I wasn't in the...
Oh, I see.
That was me.
But if you want to cast me...
Right, not yet.
Okay. I was an angry black man. That's what I was.
It was in the specs. It was in the specs.
Little different show.
Yeah, things that he gets in his specs that I don't get in mine. more urban.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I hate that one. It's nothing like it.
Yeah.
No one ever says
Yeah.
that to me. I don't understand.
The worst experience probably was auditioning with a certain voice that I was not able to deliver in the session. And it was just a very uncomfortable session full of flop sweat and all the greatest anxieties you can imagine. And I believe I was replaced. Yeah, I believe
Learning
I was
experience.
replaced. Hey, it happens.
Do you remember what it was for?
Yes. I'm not going to tell you.
No, I was gonna say, you can't say.
That's where we enter the
But
Nunya territory.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my
They
gosh.
are defining moments.
Yeah,
you know?
they really are. Yeah.
They are.
Wow. Best?
Kicking Mark Hamill's ass.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to kick Mark Hamill's ass in session.
I
and
like
it-
have
and it was
chills
great.
for you
It
right
was
now.
great.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
really dug that. Just to look across and see him and knowing I was kicking his ass that whole session. It was awesome.
It's amazing.
It's so real though. That's real.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
was the best.
amazing.
That was the best. And because it's Mark Hamill, yeah.
Oh, we just going on worst first?
Worst first.
Worst and
yeah.
best? I don't know. I don't know if I really have a worst. Doing as much Bowser as I have, every Bowser session is a challenge because of the physical nature of it. So my best and worst are both in the Bowser realm. Other things that I've done, little commercials here and there, and voice of a little green dragon that tells Bible stories named Zingo for some mega church. I don't even remember what state it's in. A really big church, 37,000 members or something. And they have a big kids program. But I digress. I do that a lot. Sorry. My best was doing Meowser for 3D World. Because Meowser was a really, really big challenge. They gave me a script. We're going through the regular stuff. And then I turn the page and I'm like, Meowser, that's hilarious. What's a Meowser? And they're like, it's a cat power-up, so he's going to be part cat. He's going to have a tail, and claws. And I go, what's he going to sound like? And they go, we don't know. So, you're thinking on your feet, it's like, all right, what is a Meowser going to sound like? And I've cat, okay, but he's not like a kitty cat. You can't go meow as Bowser. So it had to be like a wildcat thing. So it was, and at the same time, dropping into Bowser growl. So it was like,
It's like
That sounds so cool with the echo in here.
I know.
It's like, man.
that sounded a lot better than when I did it.
it's like you
awesome.
open up a portal inside yourself and someone
Right?
else's
Where's
voice
that
comes
coming
out.
from?
It's
I
amazing.
was so pleased with it. This was a two sessions, and I had got to split it over a weekend. And I did performances of Evita that weekend. I was scared to death I wasn't going to be able to sing after doing 2 hours of Bowser, and I made it through that. I come back on Monday and I go, what about the Meowser stuff? And the reason I'm so happy with it was because they said, we're translating an email from Japan right now. And I was like, So I wait 10 or 15 minutes, and they're like, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. And then somebody comes in and they're like, all right, the Japanese thumbs up on the Meowser stuff. And I was like, thank God. Because I really didn't want to do it again. It hurt, I mean, sometimes
Sure.
there's a little pain involved, but
Oh, yeah.
but I made it through that. And so that's why that's my happy place is Meowser,
That's
because I made
amazing.
it through it without
How,
having to redo it.
How about you,
Who
Dean?
were you in Evita?
Huh?
Who were you in Evita?
Oh, it was Magaldi.
Okay.
I wanted to. On this night of 1,000
Yes.
stars.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's good. Let's just, you sing the rest of the time. I don't need to talk. Okay, so my worst would be the first time I ever did fight noises.
Oh, yeah.
I was directed by Chris Sabat. You might know him as Vegeta, so that's very low pressure.
Yeah.
But I was like, he'll be able to teach me these fight noises, but he was sick, so he had no voice, and all he could do was kind of tell me. I did not play fight as I grew up as a child. I didn't do a lot of fight noises. I did a lot of decorating noises, organizing noises, friendship noises. I did not do fight noises. And so that was mortifying. You're my friend. Oh, it's right. Let's be friends. I'm gonna do your hair. No, I'm gonna do your hair. Love. So he at one point he was like, "It's fine. We'll just get someone else to do the fights."
Aw.
And it was like, oh, that knife. That knife was there for years. But then, not long after that, I did a show called Witchblade, which is very fight heavy and drunk heavy, interestingly. Two themes I've really stuck with in my career. And that got me through the fighting stuff. But I still have to, the engineer who's directing there now at Okratron with Sabbath, I still have to remind him that I can do fight noises because of that first fighting horribleness. And my best, just off the top of my head right now, because like our job is so awesome. There are so many bests. It's really hard to choose just one, but Panty and Panty and Stocking, being able to write the script adaptation as vulgar as possible within the realms of United States law. That was my direction from the Japanese. I did it. and then I got to say lines from it and hear my friends say lines from it, and that was pretty amazing. It was a pretty amazing experience, yeah.
That's cool.
And now I get to like write "Go F yourself" when I sign autographs for it, and there's nothing else you can do that with. It's pretty amazing.
They only Funimation only has the first 2 episodes on YouTube. Is pretty good. Yeah, I liked it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
very
we
much.
got time for just 2 more questions real fast.
Hi. You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, and I think you elaborated on it a little bit more, Jamie. But do you think that there's a difference or better between making a home studio and recording from there, or going out, auditioning, really meeting those people? Because a lot of the things that I've seen online say it's like you can make a home studio, and it's easy as that. But like you were talking about earlier, it's a lot of that kind of marketing yourself and meeting the right people.
Networking is huge.
Yeah.
For the experience of auditioning, it's great to go somewhere. For the quality of your sound, it's debatable. It's up to you. You might have a real sweet spot in your home studio,
It depends on the audition. Not everybody wants you coming in. Some people don't even want to know what you look like. It's true. It's probably for the best. It helps you get work. So some places will give you the option to come in, but a lot of times, like with my agent, they'll say, we need these auditions. We'll be recording between 10 and noon or something like that. I'm not going to do that because I already know my agents. We already have a relationship, so I'm just going to record from home and send it in and make everybody's life easier. But if on the rare occasion, it's rarer than not that people want you to come in and audition, you should. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
All right, our last question. What's your name?
Hi there, my name's Savannah. I was just wondering, what is one thing that you wish you would have known when you first started off?
That's a good one.
Yeah, one thing. I wish I'd have known. I wish I'd have known there would be a lot more no's than yeses. That would be easier to take.
It's not personal.
Yeah. Don't take it personally.
I'll tell you something that I accidentally learned when I first started that has made my career. When I did Fruits Basket and I auditioned, it was for the Psycho fan club president of this character named Yuki. And I was like, oh my God, she's psycho. I went and I auditioned just like normal, what I thought was right, but I didn't know she was this psycho person at the time. I just had the sides and I read them the way that I thought was true. And then I got cast. And I went in and I was like, oh my gosh, what's he gonna say? What does he want? She's psycho. And in my mind, I'm thinking of all of these animated crazy people. So is it gonna be like a Harley thing or what, what am I doing? And so Justin Cook was directing and he went through all of the history of the character and what I was doing and everything. And then he said, okay, let's get started. And I was like, well, she's psycho, because he didn't give me any character tips. I was like, what do you want me to do vocally? And he said, I think your voice is good. And I was like, But once I got over myself, what I learned in that moment was that my voice is my foundation. Everything that I have is based off this foundation. So if I was like, I'm crazy, there would have been no truth behind that character. I know that on stage, but sometimes the voice things, it gets mixed up. So learning in that very first role I ever did that I am my strength. My voice as it is my strength, gave me my entire career. I also play a lot of crazy people. So that's, I would say, a big thing is like let your voice be a strength, girl, because it's amazing.
Yeah, you got a natural
Yeah.
voice for it.
you.
That's a great question. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us.